Hello everyone, we're going to get right into it with our introduction to the new calculator and how to log games. As you can see, here's our new interface for the calculator. It's all filled out right now, but we're going to get to that and we're going to show you how to do everything. But let's start with our game logs. As you can see right now, this is the McDophers versus Gas House Gorillas game with a this is a full game's worth of plays going in. And we'll get to that right now. You used to need to know all of this stuff, this README page that I just clicked to. So if you're interested, you can kind of read through it and go in and get everything you need to know. But the good news is you don't really need to do that anymore. This is all just essentially a copy and paste procedure now, right? So session 12 is coming up, which means we need to start our session off, right? All you got to do is scroll over and on these bottom tabs, select the game that you're umpiring. So let's say that you have been, you have picked the the Silver McDophers and the Humongous Melonheads. Let's say you are umpiring this game, right? So you click over there, and this is important. There's some start of session prep that every umpire needs to do. And it's really only two things. It's super simple, right? What's our start date? Well, we're starting tomorrow. So it's a Saturday. That's going to be 12/14/2009. Now, all times are Eastern, right? So it's going to be 12/14/2019, 12/0/0/0/0, right? And I'll type that in for you. Bam, we have our start date. Now we just need our umpire. Obviously, it's not going to be Frank Drebin. I can't umpire my own game. You just put in your umpire crew name, right? That's it. That's literally all the setup you need to do to start the game. Afterwards, all this inning, out, play types, all that stuff, we're going to do via the calculator. Pretty simple, right? So now we're off to set up the calculator, right? You're going to start on your lineup card. Now this is all going to be in for you, right? The session date right here, or the session will be there. Your away and your home teams will be there. But if they're not, it's really simple, right? Session 12, the away team, and again, you can look back at this. Sofa McDophers are the away team. Humongous Melonheads are the home team, right? So, drop-down menu. Sofa McDophers, and it's going to update, right? It'll update all of our players for us, and it just puts them in alphabetical order. Same thing. Let's go to Humongous Melonheads. And then again, it'll update everything in order, right? So let's clear out this box stuff, right? And I'm going to show you what happens when it's blank. All right, so we have this all blank. Now, if we go back to our HUD, see, everything is all NA because we don't have any lineups or anything like that entered, okay? So, as you get your lineups from your GMs, then you just fill it out, right? And I'm just going to go, even though these aren't positions, just for speed length, right? I'm just going to go up and down, straightforward. So, same thing. For your box, your starters get the number 1. So, you should have 9 number 1s. And then anytime they get subbed out, right? So like, let's say, I'll put these first 9 as 1s. Anytime they get subbed out, right? Let's say alternate gets subbed out at some point, and he gets subbed out for VD. VD would get the number 2, and then whatever position in the batting order Al is going, since he's subbing for Al, you know, you go to your drop-down menu and you select the same thing, and same thing with the position. So that's how you do subs, right? So let's just go ahead and go 1 through 9, and then I'll just, you know, put in some batting orders or some positions. So I'm doing pure drop down on this side to show you that you guys can do the drop down. On the Melonhead side, I'll show you that you can type and hit enter. If you want, you can do it either way. Let's go ahead and give Pi the start. Same thing for the pitchers, right? Your starter gets the 1, and then any subsequent relievers would get 2, 3, etc. Unless your pitcher is hitting, they do not get a batting order. Notice how I was just typing there and then I was hitting enter. That's what I was talking about, right? So you can do the same thing for positions. If you don't have caps lock on, you're going to have to select, I think. We'll test that out. Yeah, see, so I hit 1B and I hit enter, and it doesn't like it. So you need to have cap locks on or be ready to just do a little thing. So I'll hit the back button to undo that. Let's go ahead and give Hudson the start. All right, so I have my lineup entered, right? Remember how our HUD was all blank and it gave nothing? Everything is fixed all of a sudden. Now see, the reason this is red is because they're out of position and we don't allow that. Obviously, for this, it doesn't really matter, okay? Now here's the cool part. You have Discord pings for your, to let somebody know they're up, and you have Reddit pings to start the at-bat off. This bottom one will give you a little bit more of a kind of box score feel to it. The top one is just straight text. This one. So use whichever one you want for the Reddit ping. Okay, Hudson has given us a pitch. We have the pitch. It's time to ping alternate. We copy this, we put it in Reddit. You can add flavor text if you want. You can just simply copy and paste and hit enter. It's all up to you, right? The purpose of this is to make it really streamlined and giving you more time to do flavor text. So we've put the Reddit ping in. Now we're going to copy and paste this, and we're going to ping in Discord. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That batter is now alerted that he or she is up to hit. These little dashes should have ERA and batting average. Obviously, Sheets is being Sheets this morning, but that should update for you on its own. All right, so we have a pitch. Alternate has swung. It's time to result. Okay, so let's say the pitch was 316, and the swing was 289. Okay, so obviously you saw I put the pitch in the pitch spot and the swing. I'm going to do the swing. So there it goes. It just automatically says the difference is 27. The result is a double. Now you notice this batting result area has populated. Again, you can put as much flavor text as you want. Once you're done with the flavor text, you just copy and paste this section. Bam, swing. It lists it all out and it goes. Now here's the cool part. Here's the new stuff that we need everybody to do. Okay. So we know that this is in, we've put it in Reddit, we've processed the play. Now we need to enter this play into the score log, okay? You go to this scorekeeping or the mobile scorekeeping if you're on mobile. So you go to scorekeeping and look up here, it's got our play, top of 1, 0 outs. It's the base runner code. That I'll show you where that is here in a second. What type of play it was. It has all the information that we need, including getting ready to go to the next batter. So what you're going to do, again, it's copy and paste. So we copy the 2 rows, right? This top row and this second row. So I'm gonna let go and I'm gonna copy here. Then we're gonna go back to our game log. And we're going to go right here, and this is a paste values only thing. So if you're on your computer, it's Control-Shift-V. Bam, it just put all the information in that we needed, right? You saw that was instantaneous. That's literally all you have to do. That's it. Now, if you're on mobile, it's a much smaller thing because when we were testing this, people who were on mobile were like, man, that's a whole heck of a lot to copy and paste and it's hard, blah, 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 blah. Watch, I'm going to go back and I'm going to, I'll just highlight this and I'm going to delete it. If you're on mobile, it's the same thing. Just copy these 2 and paste them. So you can't do the Control-Shift-V on mobile. That's fine, whatever. It's not really going to screw anything up. But see, it still put everything in the right spot once I did it, right? So it's really, really simple. It's just a copy and paste thing. So now if we go back to our calculator and we've put our play in and it's time for the next batter, correct? If we go back to our umpire HUD, it has already updated for us, right? Like, so your Reddit ping, you'll notice it says top of first, 0 out, runner on second, right? It's already updated for us and it's moved us to the next hitter based on what we have in our lineup. So we've solicited Hudson for a pitch. We've got a pitch and it's, again, same thing. Okay, now we're going to ping Reddit for Baselanese at bat. We're going to Discord ping him and we're going to do the result. Okay. I'm going to make him hit a double. Let's pretend it's the exact same thing. I want to show you what you need to do when a run scores, right? So we have another double on our hands. We need to go to scorekeeping. That if you ever have a ghost runner scored, you would enter it here, right? But so we have a run scored. We're going to go and we're going to copy this play, right? Now here's the important part. We're actually on this line, right? Like the Hudson alternate at bat has already happened. We don't want to paste over that, so we go to this line that's top of 1, 0, 2, and then the play type and pitcher and all that stuff is blank. Again, on a computer is Control-Shift-V. So here's our new at bat. We still have 0 outs. We still have runner on second. Now this is what you need to do manually, right? So obviously alternate would have scored on the play. So we'll go here to this run scored column. Just give it a tally of 1. Go to the RBI column for base, and he got an RBI. A tally of 1. You'll notice in the game log, it's updated the runs and the hits. And over here, this is stuff you don't have to worry about, but I'm just showing you that it updates. we have the total plays and we have the plays per day. Obviously, once we get to the actual day, it'll go faster. Like if I were to update this to, let's say today's date, and let's say the start time was 7 a.m., right? See how the plays per day updated. So that's just that. That's just let you know. Goal for plays per day is about 5.2 based on the average plays per game, you know, so that's just something to keep in mind. Now, remember, I told you the base running codes. Again, you used to need to know this, but you don't need to anymore. But if you're curious, here they are over here on the right side of your little log. It's your base runner code. 0 is base is empty. 1 is run on first, run on second, run on third, first and second, you know, so on and so forth. You'll pick it up pretty quick. So that essentially is how we log plays throughout the game, right? And then I'll go back to the calculator. Oh, it updated it to a double well hit. Okay, that's fine. Not a big deal. Let's go back to the calculator. And again, you'll notice top of 1, 0 out, runner on second, Hudson Hill around. Now Chris Robbins up. Now see, here's the difference, right? I told you the other one would have a little bit more scoreboard to it. See down here, now it says San Mateo, or I keep saying San Mateo. So for McDophers have a run scored, right? And if you look up here at your line score, you've got a run scored. So all this continually updates for you. Now, where that's going to be important is I'll show you on a Reddit thread. Like, let's pretend we're creating a Reddit thread, right? I guess I did skip over this, but that's not a big deal. We'll just get to it now. This is, again, all done automatically for you. So, if we go to our calculator and we go to, where did he, oh, it's not on this one. Why doesn't he have it on this one? Oh yeah, sorry. It's on the scorekeeping tab. See, I'm still getting used to it. This Reddit box score thing right here. See how I clicked right here? I didn't actually click the box score, but I clicked right underneath it. It doesn't look like the entire box score, but watch, I promise you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this. And I paste it, right? And if you'll notice in our little preview here, it's put everything we need in. It's got the, and we're already updated, right? Like this is what I was kind of showing you. It's already updated to 1-0. It's got a run. It's got 2 hits. See, alternate has an at bat, a run, a hit, and base Thony has an at bat, a hit, and an RBI. So as you update the game log, this box score thing in the calculator updates. So if you want to update it after every batter, whatever, however often you want to update it, please do it at least at the end of each half inning. It's just a simple copy. You go into your box score, or you go into your game log, you just highlight that whole thing, delete it, and then paste the new one. And it's got all this stuff. And again, these batting average and ERAs, when Sheets is not being stupid, it'll have it actually, whatever their batting average and ERA, it gets updated as you go. So yeah, that's updating your box score. That's logging a game. That's doing everything you need to do throughout the course of the game, right? So you just do that all game long. The final 2 things you need to know are what you need to do at the end of the game. So let's say the game is over. I will go to the McDophers and Gorillas because we're still chugging along like ding-dongs. Let's say the game is over. It's a similar thing to the start date time, right? You just look at the last play of the game and when it happened, and then write that date down. And again, remember, all times Eastern. And we use military time. So let's say the last play were to happen here in like just now, right? So it'd be 12:13 11:16 a.m., right? Or let's say it was 5 in the afternoon. A really, really, really simple way to do military time, 5 in the afternoon, 12 plus 5, 17, right? Simple. So let's say it's 12/13/2019, again, 5 in the afternoon. The third line on that right here, this little part, that's actually the seconds, which if you mouse over a time in Reddit, I'll lose all this info. I'll show you. If you mouse over a time on Reddit, and again, I don't think you can do this on mobile. You can only do it on PC. But if you see this 2 points 3 days ago thing, if you mouse over it, it'll actually give you a time with seconds. So I've always put seconds. You don't really need to put the seconds. It's not that big of a deal, but you can if you want. So yeah, we've put our end date time, right? And then this winning pitcher, losing pitcher, save, and player of the game. You also enter manually, whoever that may be, right? So in this case, it would be Mattis Mickelson. I may be jinxing my team right now, so if they watch this, oh well, too bad. Mattis Mickelson would be the winner. Bartholomew Crumblepuff would be the loser. At the moment, we have no save, and let's pretend Mattis is named the player of the game, right? You just enter all that in the appropriate spots, okay? And then the final thing you do is when the game is over, you just click this. And before I'm going to show you, this is for me, this is leadership purposes, sneak peek in it. If you go to the master log, right, it shows you the states of this, right? So right now, this game shows bottom of the 6th, runner for 0 outs. If I were to click final, it's going to go to the master log. See, that just changed to final. And now what this is going to do, it's going to update all of our other sheets. It's going to update our standings page and things like that. So yeah, let me unclick that, erase that. But yeah, that's it. You've seen how to set up your calculator. You've seen what you have to do to start a session. You've seen how to set your lineup cards, how to do substitutions, how to what the Reddit ping was, right? Like, I mean, I can go in. I'll show you really quick what the pings look like. I'll show you the difference. So if we're on the HUD, this top ping, see, this is what the top ping would look like, right? It's got a preview, top of 1-0 out, runner on first and second, Chris Robin. And again, that batting average would be populated when Sheets decides to not be stupid, and it's his first AB. That's that top one. This is what the second one, this is what the bottom one looks like. Hudson's on them. It's highlighting who's on the mound and who's hitting. And see a little bit more box scorey, right? Like 1-0, this little runner indicator, top of first, 0 outs. So those are what the 2 pings look like. Which one you use, completely up to you. Batter ping, you guys all know how to do that. I'm not going to show you that. The last thing I'm going to show you is this Sandlot tab. Now, what we're using the Sandlot tab for currently is extra innings, because it would be too much of a pain to code in ghost runner situations, right? So if you ever get to extra innings, you would just click this use Sandlot, and all this stuff that's blacked out will go away. Oh, I guess I need to show you my current calculator because this one is blocked off for me. Give me one brief second. This is the calculator I was using for this last session, and I have all my permissions done. So we need to go to Sandlot. See, it was already checked, so let me uncheck it. Sorry, a little congested this morning. So see, when it's unchecked, it's all here because we're going off the HUD stuff, right? If I check it, all this becomes blank. And again, this is where you need to select your teams, right? You actually have to put the scores in manually. You have to put your inning and your outs manually. You have to put in your pitcher, batter, catcher manually. You put your runners and where they are manually. But again, obviously for extra innings, this is important because you need to have somebody in the 7th on second base, in the 8th, 2nd and 3rd, 9th and beyond, bases loaded. You have all your old traditional stuff in, right? Infield, in, sack, bunt, home run, you can trick, your pitches and your swings, and then you still have all your other pertinent stuff here, right? So calculator essentially, or the Sandlot just essentially lets you, hello phone, it lets you manipulate the situation as you need, right? So that's what Sandlot is. That's for extras. And essentially, that's this new calculator. It's about 95% up, just completely automated stuff with just a tiny little bit of, you guys do have to do this. I'll go to this, you guys do have to do this scorekeeping, but what that does essentially is it's going to overall reduce the workload for some people in the league while simultaneously giving you guys the ability to make sure your game is constantly updated within the stat book, and it gives you more time to focus on the flavor side of the game. If you don't want to do that, that's fine, right? Like, not every ump is the same. Some umps write a whole book on a result. Some umpires kind of just describe the play. Do whatever you want to do. That's obviously fine. Now, the last thing, once the game has gone final, right? And I guess I can use the calculator. Excuse me. I'll use the calculator Bob and I just did, right? The game has gone final, right? So this post-game thread stuff, you see this game is not final. So it's just none of this is in, right? The game has gone final. We've put our information in to the game log, right? So I'll show you the we had Horseman and ACP. We've put our information in the game log, right? We have a winning pitcher of Drew Pierce, losing pitcher of Tyrone Jennings. The player of the game was Baron Samedi. We've entered all of this into the game log. Now this post-game thread, alls we have to do is, if you have any honorable mentions, select them, and now your new box score for the game that your post-game thread that you need to create, same thing, right? You just go over here and you can copy and paste. And if you notice, it has all that pertinent information as part of it: winning pitcher, losing pitcher, player of the game, and then your honorable mentions. And bam, copy paste, your post-game thread is created. And I think that's a good spot to wrap this up and kind of show you how awesome this is, how much less work you're going to have to do in the long run. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, ask them in the umpire room. We can answer them right away. Somebody will be there to answer them. So have fun umping, guys. Thanks for your help. See ya.